Hi everyone, my name's Laurie Mega, and I am a journalist. So now that we're all cooped up inside and listening to the news every day, maybe your parents are listening to the news, maybe you are, I thought I might share with you what it's like to be a journalist, one of these people who is creating the news that you're hearing every day. And I thought perhaps you would like to try to be a journalist too. It's pretty fun. So I thought I would start with what is a journalist? Who are we? What do we do? Well, I like to think of us as sort of part scientist, part storyteller, and part educator. Like scientists, we're extremely curious people. We ask a lot of questions, and we try to find the answers to these questions by talking to people, by researching a topic that we're interested in, either on the internet or at the library, or going out into the world and just observing the world around us. And we're part educator because we like to share what we find with other people. And we're part storyteller because we do it in a way that is interesting and compelling to other people. Um, just like you read your favorite story and you get interested in the characters and the setting and the story itself. We try to do the same with the information that we find out to get you sucked into our story and interested in caring about what we're interested in caring about. So, how do we do that exactly? Well, we start with 5 basic questions that I wrote on my board here. Who, what, when, where, why, and over here, kind of floating on itself, is how. So it's the 5 W's and an H. So actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 questions, not 5, 6. Um, every good story that we tell answers these questions. Who's part of the story? What's going on? When did it happen? Where is it happening? Why is it happening? And how is it happening? Now, there's 2 different kinds of stories that we tell. One is called hard news, and that's the matter of fact, just give you just what you need to know to get through your day kind of stories. That might be a story about the weather, it might be a story about a fire or traffic, um, something very matter of fact that you don't need a lot of details about, right? Um, and it follows a very specific pattern that we'll go over in another video. And the second is more of a feature story. And that's a longer story that gives you more details and um, more description and pulls in characters, meaning the people that we talk to, and pulls in rich descriptions of settings or um, the things that are happening around the journalist. Let's say you go to a music concert and you want to do a feature piece on the orchestra. You might talk to the conductor or uh, the flautist or the trumpet, the first chair trumpet, um, and really get a sense of who they are and try to convey that through your story so your audience really cares about this orchestra. Um, so there's many tools that we use to create really great stories that people care about. And we'll go over those in the videos to come. What I would like for you to do now as budding journalists is to listen, just listen and read. Listen to the stories that you're hearing on the news, whether that's the TV or the radio or a podcast, and read. Read different news stories. I think Time for Kids right now is actually free, so you can look at Time for Kids. Have your parents read news stories to you, and then talk to your parents about what you like about these stories, what makes them good stories, what got you interested, and write down all the elements that you loved about these stories. That's where you're going to start, and that's where most journalists and storytellers start. What gets their attention? And how can they use that to tell wonderful stories themselves? So do that. And then next time we'll talk about the different tools we use to create stories. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take those tools and we're going to tell the story of somebody we love, a family member, a friend, because every good journalist knows that everybody has a story. Not just the celebrities, not just the politicians, everybody has a story. So you're going to choose somebody you love, a parent, a grandparent, to interview and to tell their story. Sound like fun? Okay, great. So do that, and then next time you see me, we'll be talking about the tools you need to write and create a good story. Bye.